Okay, here's our flight plan for today. We'll take off at Cal Black Memorial up here in Utah at U96. We'll travel down to L41 Marble Creek, I believe is the name of this. And we'll do a touch and go here. We'll follow on down to the south, picking up the canyon, the north end of the Grand Canyon. We'll fly, we'll fly a little bit south of our track, or along flying along the Colorado River instead of following the straight line. Kind of follow the river along here. We'll come back up here and pick up about waypoint 3. We will then fly into our destination airport, which is Tuweep in Arizona. And as we come down, we'll do a right-hand base into runway 02. You'll notice here I've added my own approach point, custom approach point here. It's at a 3-mile final, and it leads me straight into my runway 02. And it tells me here that I need to be at 5,602 feet at this point. And down here it gives me the airport elevation of 4,682 feet. So that's my 1,000-foot pattern altitude. So join in and enjoy your flight. And here we are sitting at Cal Black Memorial Airport, U96 in Utah. Today we're going to be flying kind of down the Grand Canyon along the Colorado River over to Tuweep, Arizona. L50 is the airport's name over there. So here we are on runway 19, and we're flying the Rogeberg 23 DC-3. Not too proficient at this plane yet, but we're working on it. And Luke, we appreciate your contribution to the DC-3 for our MSFS2020. Luke Balcom is the developer on this airplane, I believe is his name. If I messed that up, I apologize. We're going to attempt to fly this thing today and take a short trip down the Colorado River from Utah into Arizona. Kind of following along the Colorado River over a couple of airports, Page Airport, I think it's Marble Canyon Airport we will fly over. We won't do a touch and go on that today, although we did it in our Vatsim flight last Friday. And we had Mr. Howard Walker flying number 240 flying with us last week, and he was flying 2020, and he was all aghast at all the scenery, so I thought I would try it today, and it was nice, so I'm just going to record what I saw. And here we are airborne out of the U96 heading south, heading up 222, I believe. Camera work in here is not great, but it's all you can get sometimes. I'm still learning all the nuances of 2020. We're just beginning to get into the canyon right here. A little cloudy. We'll try to shoot shots without the clouds if we can, but clouds are nice. The canyon just, like I say, we're at the north end, so it's not deep yet. It's kind of just what we'd call canyonlands, I guess. Lots of different tributaries and such running into the main Colorado River. Colorado River, I think the Grand Canyon started 70 million years ago, and it's taken this long to get to this point. So it's an amazing piece of work. I have been there personally. I would love to go back. All the different colors and all the different layers of rocks that show up pretty good in the scenery. I have a lot of iron oxide, which is the red. I'm not sure of all the other rocks. There's limestone, gneiss, gypsum, schist. There's all kinds of all kinds of rock layers in here that cover many, many millions of years of geologic timetable. So if you've never been here, you might want to put it on your bucket list to come. We're flying at 8,500 feet today, and we're doing about 140 knots. Grand Canyon Park is 277 miles of the Colorado River. It's basically 18 miles wide at its widest points, and it is 1.6 miles deep, or 1.6 kilometers deep. So that's a pretty big hole in the ground. Here you can kind of see the rock layers showing up pretty good. Very impressed with the scenery in this sim for sure. And here we are at our 85,000 feet, or 8,500 feet. Using track IR, so kind of walking around, looking around out the windows, and pardon any problems you have with that or see with that. I apologize in advance. We are coming up on Page Airport in Glen Canyon, in the Powell River. And here we have the Glen Canyon Dam right there below our right wing. And Lake Powell is over to our right, behind the dam, of course. And Page Airport is directly below. A little bit better view of the dam there. And never say goodbye to Page Airport. Our next airport we're going to come to here in just a moment, it's going to be below the clouds here, is Marble Canyon, which is L41. And again, we should do touch and go here, but we won't today. We did that in our Vatsim flight. Made a full stop landing there, made a new flight plan, and flew from there on to Tuweep L50. And so just kind of enjoying the scenery today rather than laboring around on trying to get on the ground and get off the ground. Now we're getting into the actual canyon here, and it's starting to get pretty nice, really showing some depth, some 3D, so kind of really enjoying it. Got the airplane set on heading and altitude hold, so I can kind of do these shots without having to spend all my time flying the plane. Odd that the temperature at the bottom of the Grand Canyon it can be 10 to 12 degrees warmer, 10 to 15 degrees warmer than it is up on the north or south rim. It's very odd that it would be that much warmer down there. You would think that it would be cooler. Not the case. I'm also going to attach a link to a video of the Grand Canyon put on by the National Park Service, which explains a lot. He explains some about the canyon and shows some really nice pictures. So if you're interested, check the link. If I can remember to put it in the posting, it'll be there. Here's Ernie looking out the window on the right-hand side saying, "Boy, my ass is tired." And here I am with my head bumped up against glass trying to see the Colorado River below me. It has some depth of field there. You can almost feel it. And our spotter plane out there keeping an eye on us, making sure we're turning on course, keeping us on course. So here we are turning toward waypoint 3 for our final leg into Tuweep. And we'll be turning into the airport here in just a little bit. Here we are hanging on the undercarriage, looking down at the iron oxide there in the red parts of the formations. Basically rust, I guess. Lots of wildlife down there, I'm sure. Bighorn sheep, deer, marmots, anything you can think of. Probably a few parties also added to the wildlife. Thin layer of clouds seem to get in the way quite often. And the south rim is on our left, because we're kind of flying southwest right now. Grand Canyon Airport is off on to our left there somewhere. A few miles, I'm sure. More shots out the pilot side window. It's kind of nice. I really like it. And Ernie's taking his pictures again, so he's doing a good job for me today. Not complaining too much. He just don't want me to tell his mama he's the co-pilot. You know what he wants. I think we're getting ready to turn toward our airport approach here now. So we should be hanging a left turn here. At waypoint 3, I think, and so we should be headed down here in just a few minutes. Get down to the airport. Flight's taking place early in the morning. I started off at 8 o'clock in the time, so it's about a 90-minute flight, which I've cut down to about 14 or 15 minutes. But here we are coming into our airport now, and if I can keep this DC-3 under control, we should get on the ground here in a few minutes, and maybe not run into too many trees, although the runway, obviously not overused, is covered in all kinds of brush and shrubs and trees, but this old tough bird ought to be able to take care of that, no problem. And if it can't, I guess we'll wind up in a ditch. So hang on to your seats and close your eyes. We're coming in, and we should have touchdown. we made it down. So now we're going to kind of go over here and park. And I noticed right after I parked, right after I turned around, I was going to head back out. When I turned around, I noticed that there was a couple of guys coming in. I don't know if they had to be live traffic. I didn't think I had live traffic on, but I must have. So when I get down there and parked, I see a couple of small planes coming in, and they're sitting there beside each other and lining up, and looks like they're flying in tandem. So they'll take off here in just a moment, and we'll say goodbye to them and say goodbye to you guys. This little guy will line up behind the other one, and they're out of here. And there they go. See you guys. Kicking up a desert dust. We're actually parked in pretty deep basin here. So if you ought to check out the flight plan. It's a pretty nice little flight plan. Find a plane you like and go for it. See ya.